off the air, but
Popping bomb.
Yeah, pop it, Fitz.
Twisty.
Oh,
I'm just going to go out and say it. Joey Chestnut has to be on the pub.
Has to be. Has to be.
Dramatic, man. That was a journey.
Fitzmagic in September is like one of the hottest athletes in the world.
man, I'm gonna get real theological on y'all. I think we're all a little soft and misunderstood. I'll just be real honest.
Game of baseball, but it has different rules that go along with it that kind of go behind our underlying theme of getting fans involved, keeping fans.
if I catch it in my beer, does that still count?
10 seconds.
What is going on? Welcome to episode 102. We got Preacher Man Fitz, Tim, not the doctor, but totally a doctor, not a doctor, Farner with us. And with us, the man who probably has the craziest journey of all of us. Like, I read your bio and it blows my mind. Rocket scientist, walk-on Penn State wrestler, CEO of a company now. He's crushing it. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Brooks Miller.
Woo, woo. Let's go.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Yeah, anytime, man. Thank you so much for hopping on. We know you're busy, and, you know, like our introduction kind of brought in there, dude, how do you go from being a rocket scientist, you know, pretty much, right, because you were an engineer in aerospace, and then going to, hey, I'm going to raise livestock, and now you're CEO of Earth Fed Muscle, which is an amazing company, by the way. How did you dive into that? Like, get us through your journey.
There's one step. There's two steps you missed, though. I was a brewer for a while, too. So I made beer for about 3 years before, kind of between the rocket science and the farming, sort of during the farming phase. I also made beer for 3 years. So
Heck yeah. Like your own brew, or did you work for like a bigger company?
no, I don't know. We actually, you guys probably have it if you're in North Carolina. Trogs, you know Trogs Brewing Company? Like,
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So when they were tiny, I was the second brewer they ever hired, and I got my job there by getting drunk one night, writing a really good cover letter, and then like hand delivering it. And the guy who read the cover letter, I'm friends with to this day, and he was just like, "Dude, fucking awesome letter," and that was it. So,
Let's go.
yeah, but that was like, I mean, so yes, I liked engineering in school, but then when I got into the industry, I worked at Boeing Satellite Systems, and it was just, it was like sitting at a desk doing the same thing over and over. And a lot of the work was stuff that I had done in like 10th grade in high school, you know, like real simple stuff. I mean, it like stuff that you have to learn how to do, but it wasn't super complicated. And I felt like I got set up because my cubicle was like bordering this 75-year-old dude. And I, you know, like 4 weeks in, I was like, so this is it, huh? Like, this is fun, right? And he was just like, yeah, isn't it awesome? We get to build satellites. And I was just like, oh shit, man, no, I don't want to do this forever. So my switch from that to kind of like figuring out doing something else was I came home, I went home to Reading, Pennsylvania. So that was in Southern California. I went home to Reading, Pennsylvania, and I decided I was going to work construction for the summer and then hitchhike through Mexico for a while.
Dang, what made you bring, you know, hey, Mexico, I'm going, let's go.
Man, it's like the just the college, like it was right after college, you know, so I had that job at Boeing right after college. And so it was like, you know, reading like Che Guevara, Motorcycle Diaries, stuff like that, being all like wistful about what the world's, you know, could really be like. And I'm just like, I just didn't want to get into it yet. You know, I just didn't want to like go. I didn't want to figure out the next thing. So I was like, what can I do to delay this? Let's just go on the road. Right. So I told my parents, and my dad's always been really supportive. He gave like the big dad sigh, and then he was like, all right, well, how can we figure out how to do this safely?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, man. So I did that, like literally just walked out on the road in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. And a week later I was walking across the border in Arizona. So like I slept overnight in a baseball stadium, and there was like guys crossing the border coming the other way. You know, while I slept outside, I walked across the border, and then just started getting rides and finding places to stay. And like 4 months later, my sister was having her first kid, so I actually flew home from Mexico after that. But the whole 4 months was just like one thing after another of just nuts, just like cool people wanting to help you, people, like Mexican moms like scolding me, like, what do you think your mother's feeling right now? Like, go home, it, So
They're bringing out the chocolate on you, just ready to smack you a little bit.
but just like everybody wants to feed you or give you drinks and talk, hang out, and it was great. And for me, it was kind of like, all right, I don't want to, I want to do something that I really feel passionate about and really enjoy. And so literally I came back and I had worked on a couple farms down there. And my who's now my wife, we had met right before I left, and she actually flew down while I was in like the Yucatan. So near the Belize border. And we kind of decided like, all right, let's, when we get back to Pennsylvania, let's find a farm. Let's, do the whole thing. Like, let's live right. Let's grow our own food, all that good stuff. And luckily she actually had experience doing that, which I like didn't. So we found a place, and it just happened to be close to this brewery, Trogs, when they were still really small and in Harrisburg. And like I said, I got lucky, and just, we were basically living on this little farm where we basically got to live there for free to manage it. And there was a program there for adults with disabilities. And I would just ride my bike to the brewery during the day, do my thing, and then ride home at night. So it worked.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a one hell of a story. Like, man, 4 months just hitchhiking through Mexico. Like, for me, that sounds like a nightmare for me. Cause I'm like, hey, I need my truck. I need to be here. And like, I'd have to be organized, but I mean, you've got to have some amazing stories through there. Like,
yeah, dude. Okay. So the big thing for me was the first couple of days, you're just like, the hell am I doing? Like, this is ridiculous. This is like the first guy who gave me a ride, I was just like, all right, I'm not going to this is weird enough. I'm not going to smoke any weed with anybody or do any drugs. Like, I'm just going to do the thing. And the first ride I get, this guy's like, hey, you want to hit the blunt? And I'm like, yeah, sure.
Right. Yeah.
And I was just like, oh God. And he was the very first dude, I swear to God, he was a prospector. Right. So he was driving from Maine to the Carolinas to visit his daughter. And he got super high, and he's like talking about all these places in the hills where he had panned for gold or dredged for gold or whatever. And we stopped at a gas station. I almost like split. I was just like, getting weird. I almost split, and we got back in, and he's driving again, and he takes out a medicine bottle. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't want to do anything, and he's like, hey man, here, check this out. And he pours out the medicine bottle and hands it to me. And I was just looking away, and I was like, no, man, I'm good. He goes, what? He goes, look at it. And I turned, and there was gold nuggets in his hand that he had gotten out of a stream.
Oh shit.
So yeah, that was that set the bar. It was just every ride was something like that, where you just dude, people are nuts. People are just there's no normal person. And so everybody's telling you these crazy stories, or you're almost somebody's like, yeah, I'll take you to this spot, but the cops are definitely going to be there, so let's figure out a place where we can drop you off before we all get arrested or something. So
wow,
yeah,
that's incredible, man. Just, hey, gold nuggets on deck. Like, hey, I'm ready to show anybody who gets in my truck.
Yeah. He had this book in the back. It was so funny. It was it must be. I was thinking of it as you guys remember the Beckett's baseball card book, where you you looked up how much your Griffey Jr. rookie card was worth, and
for sure
every year you're double checking the values. This guy had that of hidden treasures. It was go up to Rochester, drive 5 miles east to this cemetery. There's an oak tree at the top of the hill, and it's rumored that some pirate buried his treasure under the northeasternmost roots. And dudes read these books and go out and try and find this stuff for real.
Wow. So we gotta get this cat on the DB Cooper train. Hey, you gotta find this duffel bag of money for us. Wow. Yeah. That's day one. That sets a bar high.
Yeah. No, that was day one. It was pretty wild.
How far south did you go in Mexico? I know you talk about Belize border. Did you go any farther deeper in there?
No, so I wanted to go the whole way through Central America to South America. But my sister was having her kid, and I had sort of promised her I was going to like be the nanny for the kid when I came back. And so it was kind of like, I was like, I want to keep going. And she was like, you made a promise, you fucker. And she was just like, come on. And I'm like, all right, fine. So I came back, and it was amazing. I mean, like, my niece and I are super tight, you know, still, and she's 15 years old now. But yeah, so I went, basically I stayed in a farm for like 6 weeks right on the Belize border for the longest time. That was the longest place that I stayed. But my wife actually, after I left, she kept going, and she wasn't hitchhiking until she came with me. And then she started hitchhiking on her own too. And so she went to like Honduras, Guatemala. Somebody slipped her weed cookies in Guatemala while they were going up like a volcano hike and stuff. And she still has, like, to this day, she's like, never again, you know. But she went pretty far south. And now we actually take our kids down there and visit some of the places that we used to go, so they can kind of see, a different part of the world, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I gotta ask, my wife's Salvadorian. You guys make El Salvador?
No, we've never done it, but our plan is actually, we just bought a camper, and our plan is actually to take the kids out of school next year, and I'll be like remote working, and our plan is to go all the way to like Chiapas, because we have friends in Chiapas and Mexico, and then do like trips out to El Salvador, Belize, Guatemala, kind of go all over the place down there. So,
oh, dude, that'll be fun. And you're taking them out of school for, like, they're gonna get so much experience and education just by doing that.
Right,
that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, you have to hit me up with the insider scoop on El Salvador then.
Oh, dude, for sure. I got you. I got you covered. We're going in July. It'll be my second time going. I'm pumped for it. But anyways, we'll steer it back to you, dude. You walk on as a Penn State wrestler, and you know, we were talking this before. Penn State wrestling has really came on the scene. I mean, the past 12 years, like ever since Kale's taken over, Penn State wrestling's cream of the crop.
Yeah.
But you were there. I mean, Penn State's never been bad at wrestling. They've always been good, but different level we're talking about. But how was that experience for you? You're a walk-on wrestler. Wrestling's not a very popular sport to begin with.
Yeah.
And so how was that journey?
Yeah, man, it was fun. Like, so for me, I definitely went to school to go to school. I wasn't planning on doing any kind of sports or getting serious about anything like that. And we went, a buddy of mine and I literally like went to the wrestling room for fun. And we were just like training with a couple of guys. And then like I threw their starter on his back at 197, and he was just like, who are you guys? Like he was like, you know, he's just like, why are you guys here? And Coach Sunderland was there, and he kind of came over and he was like, hey, you know, if you guys should come out, you should wrestle, you know, and open invitation essentially. And so my buddy decided against it. He was a chemical engineer, and he was like, dude, there's no way. Like, these guys, there's not engineering majors on the roster. This is going to be brutal. Turns out he was right. You know, it was like 6 hours a day of training, and then, you know, all the normal engineering stuff to try and stay on top of that was pretty nuts. But when I was there, so yeah, I got to drill and wrestle with like Pat Cummins, who he was in the UFC a while back, and he was a really good wrestler, 2-time All-American. His brother Ryan was a really good wrestler. And then the younger guys who were coming up then, there's so much talent in Pennsylvania in general that Penn State gets those recruits who are just badass, you know? And so, for me, it was a pretty big, like, first day. It's like, all right, we wrestled. Actually, my like 4th or 5th day was freaking 9/11. It was like actual 9/11. So it was happening, and like there was kids there from New York. The one kid's dad was a firefighter, and so just sitting there, you know, kind of like waiting and listening to crap like that. So that was just intense as a holy shit. Like the whole world shifted at the same time as like my little personal world was shifting. But like, dude, I had always run and lost weight in high school. Probably lost too much weight in high school, but like these guys, we like the first day we were just like, all right, we're gonna run to Mount Nittany, run up Mount Nittany. We're gonna do like 300 push-ups at the top, and then we're gonna run back. And Mount Nittany's like 7.5 miles from campus. And I'm like, that's like to get to the bottom of it, and then you go run up and you run back. And I'm like, okay, cool, I can do this. And so I'm like gradually falling for, the little guys are all just like, they all just take off, And I'm just like, shit, like I gotta look decent here. I don't want them to think they screwed up, like asking me to come out. So I'm trying to hang with like all the heavier dudes, and I was 210, so I was a 197 pounder, and I'm like running, trying to just keep up with those guys, and I'm gradually falling back and back with those. There's like 2 dudes behind me, and I'm like, all right, just keep somebody behind you, man. Just keep going.
Keep in front of the heavyweights, baby. Let's just keep rolling.
No, the heavyweights weren't there, which I didn't even notice until I got to the top of the hill, and I'm do the push-ups, and I'm running back down, and there's the van. All the heavyweights pile out of the van. And I was like, what's up, Coach Hart? Okay, are we driving back now? And he was like, get the hell out of here. He's like, no, the heavyweights are just we're just doing a short run. You run back. And I go like from this, like, oh, thank God, like we're going to get a ride now. And he's just like, dude, 7 more miles, go. And I'm like, holy shit, dude. So it was, yeah, man, it was, for me, it was great. Like I never got, I never started or anything like that, but there was, when you're surrounded by people who are training, like who are going to be all Americans, you can tell like, all right, these dudes are here for this. This is a real deal. Like this is what they want to do forever. It's awesome. And I loved it. And it was cool to be around that. But definitely for me, it was like the next year I was just sort of like sat down with the coach and I'm like, hey, I'm working as a TA now in engineering and I'm doing all my classes. Like is there any chance I'll ever get, any money for this? And they're like, yeah, good luck, buddy.
Oh yeah,
just no way. So it was good though, man. It was a really good experience for me. And like I said, the one guy who my buddy who's a 125 pounder, 2-time All-American is now, we're literally the youth coaches at our little town wrestling club. And, it's just great because we have that connection from a while back, like know the same guys, know a lot of people in wrestling. And it's one of those things, if you're into a thing and, if you're a wrestling coach or a football coach, like you're into a thing, you just like start to know all the people, and you just kind of like, the longer you know them, the more you have that history and stuff's just like easier, and you have more connections and all that. So.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Wow. I mean, I'm sure you get thousands of stories wrestling in Penn State, and I can't imagine. Have you got a chance to go back and visit recently?
No, not lately. Actually, so I'm in jiu-jitsu is like my main thing now, and I train with a couple guys who I went to high school with. One of whom my dad was actually his coach in high school, and he fought in the UFC in the mid 2000s. And then he trained when Pat went to UFC. He trained Pat and was, Pat's drilling partner. And he's just a badass. And so he and I have been training probably once a month. He's got a guy who's kind of up and coming from Kutztown University who he's on like the regional MMA scene. He's doing fights and stuff like that. And the three of us will, we'll do just grappling. So I won't strike with those guys, but we'll just do grappling. And that's like, dude, that's for me now at the gym I go to where I'm a black belt, there's like decent guys there, but these dudes I come home and I just feel like amazing. Cause it's like getting that rush of like the pure adrenaline, like the real workout where you're just going like total flow state, not thinking about anything and just rolling with guys. Like that's what I love. I feel like a kid. I feel like I'm playing when I'm doing stuff like that. So
for sure, it keeps you young. Absolutely,
100%, man. Yeah.
Wow, black belt jiu-jitsu. I mean, that's crazy. Like impressive. Golly.
Thanks, man. Yeah. No, we so that was after so my wife and I started farming. I needed something from basically starting a business and feeling like I was burning out. Running the farm and doing all that crap and. My buddy just said, hey, you should come down. My son was like 5 at the time. And he was like, yeah, you should bring him down. This gym's really family friendly. It's cool. And so I started going and it was like day one. I was just like, wait, you can wrestle as an adult? People did this? Like, this is crazy. I love it, So I got to kind of go like under the guise of like, oh, I'm just taking my kids to jiu-jitsu. And then for me, it just became a thing. And, now 3 out of my 4 kids have all been doing it for years, and I just stuck with it. And I just got my first degree on my black belt like 3 weeks ago. And I love it because there's a lot of wrestling that you can incorporate into jiu-jitsu, especially with guys who are trying to do MMA and stuff like that. So,
Oh, dude, for sure. Do you watch a lot of MMA?
I do, man. Yeah. We just watched the fights last week, and yeah. Once you get into jiu-jitsu and if you've been in wrestling, it's like, at least for me, I watch college wrestling and I watch UFC and a couple other fight leagues. But yeah. You guys watch any UFC?
I'm a big UFC fan. Evan, Tim.
Yeah.
Not at all.
I can't really pronounce the names, and so I just feel like an idiot when I'm trying to pronounce who the fighters are, and I just can't. So it just demoralizes me.
The Brazilian guys or the Russian guys? Or both?
Any of them. Yeah, exactly. All the above.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, golly. Tim, Fitz, anything to want to ask Brooks here before we jump into the earth fed muscle?
I think I'm curious about the earth fed. I'm curious about that. I'm even wondering, would there be any reason that Brooks would appear on Shark Tank, or is there too many other competitors in this market or in this field?
That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, the answer to that, the second question is, there's a lot of competitors, which I'm sure you know. Shark Tank, that would be interesting. That'd be fun. That'd be like you have to kind of put a performance together, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I'd have to study the whole thing, but I would probably get off on it. It would probably be best if my brother and I did it together and we could sort of feed off each other and just kind of like riff on it. I would be into that literally for the challenge of doing it, not so much to get the investment, because we've done everything at Earthfed Muscle. Everything's been literally bootstrapped from the beginning. So it's been, no VC money, no loans, nothing crazy. It's like 100% self-started, and now knowing lots of people who took investor money, I'm like, man, thank God. My brother and my buddy Chris started the company. I'm like, thank God you guys did not take that from the beginning, because you're just beholden to somebody else, and you can't do what you want to do, right? You're in some cases you can, but in a lot of cases it's like, all right, who are we answering to for this decision? But yeah, I think it would be fun to try and put on that like Shark Tank performance and, get out there. I feel like there's got to be a rush to that, right? Just being like the adrenaline of getting in front of those guys and trying to get them to. It'll be really cool to make your pitch and they all offer you money, and then you're like, never mind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hey, Mark, I love what you do, but I'm out, dude. I don't really. I just wanted to make sure I could do it, and I did it, so I'm out.
That'd be like the ultimate, right?
Yo, shout out to you guys. I mean, not taking any loans or like investments, like that's unheard of in today's world. And for you guys to do it in the supplement company, which is pretty exposed out there or oversaturated, for you guys to like, no, we're growing this thing from the bottom up. Yeah. My hat's off to you. That's really impressive.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, and so a lot of it was from the beginning. So our buddy Chris, he and I were in the same class in high school, and we went to a little small high school, 90 kids per class, so everybody knew everybody. And my dad and Chris's dad were literally like our Little League coaches together. So, we grew up, buddies, and, every summer, like riding our bike over to each other's houses, going fishing, and then playing Little League baseball. Right. He ended up working in food processing, and my brother became a strength coach right after. So he was a shot putter at Penn State. So he was a thrower, and we were actually roommates in school. So when I stopped wrestling, I started training with the track team, because I just went over and lifted with him a few times. And the coach was like, hey, whenever you want to come in, like, let's, Dan is actually focused when you're here, so come on over. So my brother was a state champ shot putter. Just big dude, badass. And then he went up to Canada, and he trained with a guy named Anatoly Bondarchuk, for names. There you go.
Oh gosh.
And so this guy had like 17 Olympic medalists or something underneath him during the Soviet era in hammer, discus, shot put, all the throws. And my brother Dane would just like, he was just there like absorbing, he wanted to train for the Olympics. And, his college career didn't go how he wanted it to, and so he wanted to keep trying. The silver medalist from the Olympics, who was a Canadian, was actually at the same camp for years with him, so he became good friends with him. But the biggest thing he took away from it was all these old school, Russian training methods, which are, I mean, it's literally like Rocky IV. It's just like the old, not the Ivan Drago side of things. It was like the Rocky side of things. It's just like, dude, just do functional stuff and like be smart about what you do. And if you're in this sport, where you're doing an explosive movement like the shot put like that, then all your lifts should reflect that, right? So you should be doing the things that are specific to your sport. And that's actually what he called it, was sport specific training. And Dane started doing that in probably 2008 or 9 at his gym, and so Earth-Fed Muscle started as sort of like, we want to feed these athletes who he was training good food, like grass-fed stuff, good stuff. And there was nothing on the market at the time. And so, Dane and Chris Chris kind of figured out literally how to order the ingredients, drop them into a cement mixer, food grade, I should say, food grade cement mixer. And then and make these formulations with just like 3 or 4 ingredients. So, if you look at most ingredients in most proteins, you're going to see, a long list of stuff you can't pronounce. It's not just whey protein in there. There's 15 other ingredients to try and make it taste good. And, Chris just started putting in grass-fed whey, organic cacao, and stevia, and it worked. It's like, oh, it tastes good. It mixes well. And they did that for a few years. And then as Chris and Dane found like what we call a co-manufacturer, so guys who would make the supplements for us, it started growing, but it got to a point where it was like leveled, right? And so Dane had his career as a strength trainer, and Chris had just started working for Earth-Fed Muscle full time, so he was still working his food processing gig, and it was just like a need for somebody to come in, fresh set of eyes, fresh ideas, and like kick off the whole marketing thing and really get it going. And so that was me 4 years ago. And I was at a point on my farm where I was just like, farming's, it's great, man. I love it as a lifestyle, but it's like the margins are slim, and you're fighting nature all the time. And we had done it for 10 years, paying the mortgage, paying the bills, making a living. And I was like looking at my kids, and like my one kid was like 11, and I was just like, oh man, he's going to be 18 in 7 years. What am I going to have to help him out? And so they were looking for somebody to step in, and I was like, hey, I'm literally going to go look for an off the farm job. You want to try this out? And man, we did the whole thing you're never supposed to do. Family and friends, combined them all together, and started working together. Lots of fist fights in the office, and shit going down for sure. It's hard, man. You got to figure out ways to communicate for sure. And we did. We figured out ways to communicate. But, like I said, before we hopped on, the last 3 years, it's been 20% growth, then 25% growth. And last year is 43% growth for the brand. And that's all, just being real with people. We're still only 5 or 6 people working in the whole company. Just keeping the ingredients clean. There's most of our proteins are 4 ingredients, 5 ingredients at the most. And then even, our creatine is like, we find the best stuff, right? So we get Creapure, which is made in this German facility where they only make creatine, versus the stuff coming from China, which, if you get it lab tested, there's all kinds of extra crap in it and stuff you don't want in your body. And that's who ends up finding us is CrossFitters or bodybuilders who are trying to stay clean, or athletes who are trying, like, more looking for like the longevity piece, rather than, I say, we're not in the big boobs and veiny biceps market. We're in the, like, real people market. So yeah.
Hey, so if Deandre Hopkins would have taken your all supplements, he'd be playing these first 8 weeks, right? No, I'm just messing with you. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I love to hear that story.
Yeah, dude, it's that whole thing of like, you always hear, or you always want to be the business or the person who like doesn't have to compromise, your values to do the thing. And it's like, for me, it's like one of the few times where like we can look back and we're like, we have absolutely the best products we can possibly put on the market, and it feels good. And whenever we hire somebody new, that's the whole conversation. It's just like, this is what we do. Are you down? Are you down for like being real, communicating what we do and all that? And it just makes the job that much easier, because we're not trying to we're not trying to sell something that none of us likes. We're all just like, dude, we use this stuff every day. The bars taste delicious. The protein tastes delicious, that kind of thing. So it's an ideal job, honestly.
Dude, that's amazing. That's awesome. You guys got bars?
Oh, we got bars, man. Yeah, I'll send you guys some. Yeah, hit me up
yeah.
after we're done. I'll send you guys some. Yeah, we got
You're the man, bro. I gotta try them. Yeah.
Yeah, the cookie dough ones are called Swole House Cookie Bro. So
I'm sold. Give me the whole truckload. I'm coming in, baby. Just on the name alone, I'm there.
Yeah, dude. That's like and that's the other thing. For me, so like the craft beer side of it made me like, all right, let's do this different. Craft beer totally flipped the brewing world on its head, 20 years ago. And now you can't buy a can or a bottle of beer that's not like art, right? You got to, like, if you're making craft beer, it's like gorgeous, right? It's not just like Molson, not to knock Molson or anything, but it's not just like, here's the brand, and so we sort of did the same thing. And that's where it's so much fun for us to brainstorm product names. And like, sometimes we go a little too far, but you got to kind of bring it back. But it's just, it makes the whole thing much more fun. It makes all the marketing that we do a lot more fun. And like I said before, man, it's like this sitting down on a computer for a day and having to bang stuff out versus not knowing what you're working on at Boeing and like, am I making like the next satellite that's gonna, nuke somebody in a country I don't even know about right now? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing stuff for the overlords right now. Like, what? It's much nicer to know like where your efforts are actually going.
Oh, yeah, rightfully so. And speaking of names, man, I mean, watchers, listeners, I mean, they got a protein named Thick Mints, and it's got a picture of a cow's ass pretty much on there. But like all your bottles are like beautifully art, like kind of cartoonish, but it's like really well done, tastefully done, and the names have been amazing. You guys are crushing it.
Thanks,
Tim.
man.
You guys, yeah. Tim, you got any questions?
A couple comments and then a question. So you were talking about, the family feuding in the business. I just imagine like you guys having a mat in the office, and anytime there's like disagreement, you guys just like, start grappling. But also, side note to get to actual business. So I've been looking at the ingredients, and there's a lot of research that shows, what's called like your gut microbiome for all the listeners out there, and its interaction with your nervous system and your hormones and all these different things. And one thing that I'm looking through these ingredients, and this is very transparent. It's all stuff that seemingly won't, what I say, like bog down your body. All these artificial sweeteners, and you have these supplements, particularly proteins, that are 0 carbs or 0 sugars, and then you have all these artificial sweeteners. You guys use plant stevia, and so I just want to say that's amazing for the product.
Yeah, no, you're right, dude. That's kind of my background as a farmer. I mean, that's actually why we got into it, is because my wife has had a whole bunch of gut issues, since she was young. And like every American does, like you don't, if you were born here and you've never had gut issues, like I want to know what you ate growing up, because I mean, I don't know anybody who hasn't had issues. And we got into farming because we wanted to grow meat the right way, so raise animals on pasture, all that stuff. And then, even with that further processing, like we started making our own bacons, we started making our own sausage, because we just wanted, whole food ingredients in the stuff that we were consuming ourselves. And there's so many more people who are like that, even in the fitness world, where it used to be like the least natural space in the world, right? Like you think of bodybuilding days in the 80s and 90s, and it's just these shredded, like insane dudes with veins popping out everywhere. And like, you know, I feel like there's still definitely that in our space, but there's much more of like just like the fit mom, right? The CrossFit mom who runs her kids to soccer practice, and then she runs over to the CrossFit gym and like, you know, does 1,000 burpees or whatever. And it's just like, wants something good for after she's done, you know, doing that. And, or somebody goes to a jiu-jitsu gym and they want to just like be healthy. But yeah, man, the big thing, you know, collagen is one of the big ones that everybody's missing. And it's just a different type of protein. And the reason we're missing it, and this is the story with all of these deficiencies in our American diet. The reason we're missing it is just because of how we eat. You know, back in the day, we ate the whole animal. If you were making a stew, you know, or if you were making beef, you were chucking bones in there, you were chucking gristle in there, and it's long, slow cooking is going to break down all that stuff, the good stuff in the bones, the good stuff in the connective tissue into collagen. And so you had the proper balance of like muscle meat to collagen, which are the two different types of protein that are in the whey and in the collagen protein that we sell also. And so everybody's deficient in it because unless you're making stew every day or drinking broth every day, you're not getting enough of it, you know? And that is the real big one in gut health, in joint health, you know, skin, all that stuff. But yeah, man, you're spot on. I mean, the microbiome thing is like, dude, I feel like COVID set us back, you know, a decade. I felt like people were starting to get into the whole, you know, getting out in the dirt and getting your hands in the dirt and not washing your hands constantly. And we jumped right back into sanitize everything, you know, spray down the bus and, you know, over sanitize all the stuff. And I genuinely hope, because that is, you know, your skin's the first part of your immune system. And then it's like, you know, your mouth, your nasal cavity is the next part. And then your gut is like 90% of your immune system. And if you don't have a healthy gut and you don't have the microbes and the bugs that you need to fight disease and to give you the proper immune responses when you do get those pathogens in your body, then like kind of screwed, you know? So, yeah, it's a big one, man. My wife is huge on the whole, gut microbiome thing. There's a book called, Pharmacology with a PH, or sorry, with an F, Pharmacology with an F. That's all about, it actually compares like healthy, it's like healthy shits from kids who grew up in African villages and the diversity of the microbes in their gut microbes compared to, you know, the normal American microbes. And it's just like the number of different species is, you know, off the charts compared to what we've got. So
Yeah, it's crazy. For all the listeners out there, you guys should check out the David Huberman Lab. It's a podcast. He goes through a couple different articles too on the gut microbiome and the Western diet. Great points, Brooks. Those yeah, like looking at these ingredients, I think it's a great product. So to the question, you talked about growth. Sorry, no, you're good. You talked about growth of the company. You know, in the ideal world, perfect world, no problems, where do you see the company going? How, you know, what does this next year entail for growth for you?
yeah, that's a good question, man. Yeah, for us, all of our sales right now are direct to consumer through our site, which is which is like a Shopify site. We're just putting stuff on Amazon, which don't buy it on Amazon, buy the stuff on our site because we get more of the money. But like, you know, there's a certain population that only buys stuff on Amazon, right? So it's silly for us to not have stuff on Amazon. And so we're investing in Amazon growth right now. And then the big one is really pushing wholesale, and we're trying to step up our game and get a couple of retail accounts. So larger, you know, grocery store chain, or even natural foods, or health food store chains, stuff like that. So we have a few small ones right now, but you know, if we got into a Whole Foods, or on the East Coast, we've got Wegmans. Wegmans is pretty big with natural foods. And I look at it like we're not going to get the margins there, but it's just the visibility, right? It's getting in front of people identifying with the brand, seeing the stuff out in the world. And that's what we need more of. It's just more people who see our stuff, see how different it is, and then they start to learn the story. And, you end up, a lot of people now end up buying what they identify with and what really speaks to them. And I think that's what we're trying to put out in the world now. And we just need to get more of it out there. So that's the big steps we'll be doing in the next year. It's probably going to require a couple more people. So we'll probably be hiring as well in the near future.
Yeah, all that makes perfect sense. I know me personally, I'll definitely be trying some of the product, and it all looks like it's great stuff, and having you on here answering some of these questions is wonderful too. So
yeah, sweet. Thanks, man. Awesome.
Now, you didn't mention GNC. Was that intentional or like?
No.
Okay.
Man, it's such an interesting world, as you can imagine, like based on where the supplement world has been. I mean, we've met so many, you guys know the guys who who are just like sales guys, right? Like growing up, or as you're in college, like you have that one buddy, Evan, who's always got to talk to you and refer to you by your first name, Evan. He's got great opportunities for you, Evan. Just those guys who you're like, whoa, easy, bro, like settle. And there's so many of them in the supplement world. So like we already had a couple of pitches of guys like that who were like, I'll get you into GNC, right? I'll get you into GNC. And so I feel like it's like just the ultimate name drop of just getting, Vitamin World or GNC getting right in there. But yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Like I said, man, if we can get decent shelf space and it's not a nightmare to deal with, I just want to get more of it out in the world for people to see the branding. It just, think about the artwork you guys are looking at sitting next to on the shelf. I always make fun of every other brand because it's like black. It's like black cartons with gold lettering and hexagons. Like everybody's got hexagons. It's like you might as well just write science on there, and that's what they're trying to sell that. So, yeah, dude, I would be totally down with being in GNC or anywhere else as long as we're actually like making a profit on it.
Yeah, rightfully so. But what you said is so money, because if you're able to just get it into eyesight of people, now they're like, oh, shit, that looks pretty cool. Next to, literally, I have a cinnamon toast or cinnamon protein that's literally black with red writing, and that's it, right? You put it next to that, and you're like, shit, let me go home and research this. They got a cool ass story. Let me buy from them now, because you're right. You've got to get in people's eyesight. So that's absolutely.
Dude, I think there's a whole move that we call what we do digital marketing, and there's like there's kind of a move. I don't know if you guys know, like Apple with iOS 14. There's the whole like opt out of Facebook tracking, opt out of email tracking, right? And so like there's just everybody went crazy last year, like, oh God, we have no idea what's happening anymore. And it's like, dude, we were cheating. We were getting everything, before. Like literally, like you knew when somebody like moved their thumb up their screen, and and like now you just kind of have to go back to some of these older ways of doing things. I mean, you can still use lots of tracking, Google Analytics and stuff like that, but what you're referring to is that like guys would call it CPMs. It's like literally people used to sell billboard space based on somebody did a traffic count, how many cars drive past here every day, and then billboard space costs more the more cars drive past it, right? Or the bigger the space is. And it's a lot of people are switching back to that, like, all right, what's my, not even my cheapest CPM or cost per thousand views, but what's like my most effective? What's the audience who actually wants to see the stuff that we have, and how do we get in front of that audience, whether it's online or going back to billboards, or being on a shelf somewhere, or like, having a YouTuber or somebody on even TikTok, right? Even just somebody on TikTok who's got 1 million people. If they see it and it's just in the back of their mind, they recognize it, eventually, potentially that person converts. You just got to figure out which one works for each brand.
Exactly. Wait, we're in this, we're trying to figure that out too. Like we're in the exact same boat. Right. It's like, All right, do you do this on TikTok? Or shit, all right, that's not trending anymore. It's fine on that line, like you said, dude. That's money.
So do you guys have a mat where you guys wrestle each other when you're fighting over TikTok versus Instagram versus YouTube, or what?
We should.
Yeah, that's exactly what we need. Yeah,
Probably should.
You guys need like the giant boxing gloves, right? The big.
Let's get the big Hulk hands.
Yes. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
I love it.
Solving disputes.
Well, Brooks, we're gonna dive into a little sports action. You're more than welcome to stick in with us. We're gonna talk NBA and NHL playoffs and a little NFL. If you need to go, I totally understand. You're a dad and CEO, and so if you need to bounce, you can totally bounce.
No, I'll stick around. I will not be useful in this part of it because I'm not. But I want to hear it because I gotta keep up with this stuff. My son's a big Vikings fan, and he was telling me who they drafted. And I was like, so maybe you guys could tell me about the Vikings draft class at some point here.
Hey,
oh God,
a Vikings fan, yeah,
Yeah, man. You teach them
Fitz
wrong.
is a Vikings fan, and Tim's a Lions fan.
Yeah, tough crowd here.
Well, you know what? Let's just talk about it because the Vikings were in the news this week. They're going to be in a little doubleheader here with Monday Night Football. The schedule is releasing Thursday, and they're going to play the Philadelphia Eagles. Later game, the 7:30 game is going to be Buffalo versus Titans, which to me, a doubleheader Monday Night Football. I get excited. I'm like, well, shit, it's Monday in August, September. I can't really stay up too much to watch it, but at least they're going to do a little double dip here. So first game starts at 7:30, next game 8:20. So at least we don't have to stay up too late there. But schedule release is Thursday. Is there any game that we want to see Monday night, Sunday night, any matchup that we're dreaming of?
Who's calling Monday night this year? Has that been announced?
As far as I know, no, it hasn't been announced.
Because I think it was the Boogermobile a couple years ago. And then last year it was Steve Levy, and that hasn't gone well. So I don't know who they've offered as far as the Monday night broadcast. But that's what I'd be curious about.
who would you want?
Well, Drew Brees is at NBC. He's not going to call a game. I was trying to think of like who would be the newest. I did see something about Tom Brady was offered a pretty hefty amount to enter broadcasting before he decided to come back for the Bucks. I think he was going to make like 135 mil to broadcast for like.
He's making $375 million for 10 years.
Yeah. That is insane.
So it's guaranteed locked up whenever he retires, 10 years, $375 million, which is crazy because at the end of this year, he'll only make $335 million on his field play. So he's going to make $40 million more if he retires at the end of the year by broadcasting than playing.
That's crazy.
I'm here for it.
Gosh. That is nuts, man. Just thinking about those numbers. Jeez.
But to get Brady's like insight though, I'm like, all right, like I hope he's good at it. Like shit.
I feel like he'd be bad, honestly, but
Joe Buck and Aikman are going to be the commentators for Monday Night Football. They're making the transition from Fox to ESPN.
wait, seriously?
I feel like Evan would just want Brett Favre to just talk about the games. Just doesn't matter what game it is. Just country boy Brett just talking out there, just ripping the ball. And
well, shit, why did he sling it 50 yards? All right.
come on now.
Oh, man. So, Brooks, your son's a Vikings fan. What does that make you?
I mean, I have to be a Vikings fan now. My dad's an Eagles fan. So, I'm like, but I haven't watched an Eagles game in so long. Like it was fun for me when he started being a fan because like, I didn't even know that they were doing those YouTube, like watch a whole game in 12 minutes. I freaking love that. I love that. And we'll do like 4 games, we'll just sit down and like take an hour and watch like 4 games in a row on a Sunday afternoon. That are already on YouTube. But it was fun. Like he was angry last year because he was really excited about Justin Jefferson. And like their receiver core is pretty solid. And then Dalvin Cook was, basically the best rusher in the league 2 years ago. And then last year kind of, didn't
a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's. I'm always like, man, it's too bad you guys. It's too bad we got a backup quarterback for a starting quarterback. You know, that's like that's always the downfall. And so when they got who did they hire? They just hired new coach, all new management, and and they did not get a new quarterback. I told him, he was like, "Are you kidding me?" You know, he's 14, so he knows enough about the game to know to be like mad about stuff like that, but really doesn't know a whole lot, you know. So yeah,
That's awesome.
I love it. They didn't draft a quarterback either. They went all secondary and wide receivers. So hey,
Dude,
maybe
in Kirk,
Kirk.
in Kirk we trust.
Yeah.
Kirk we trust. Well, they drafted the kid from was it Texas Tech last year? It was a Texas school, and he looked solid. You know, I mean, obviously all the highlights they show you, they always look good. But he got like 2 snaps the whole year, I think. And so
Sam Ellinger, I think, from Texas, maybe.
Ooh, yeah, I think that's right.
I think it's who they picked up. Yeah.
He was like their second pick, I think, in the draft last year. But I do like Jefferson, man. It's funny. It's fun, you know, like me and him trying to make fun of each other for who can do the best gritty. So
yeah.
And
you had to see that.
That is the cool thing now to do. I just found out in middle school dances is like trying to do the gritty.
It's a cool thing in high school.
Is it?
We were fortunate enough, the school I'm at, Bunn, we were fortunate enough to clinch our team berth in the state championship. And like, coach, we clinched. You got to hit the gritty. I was like, what do you mean I have to hit the gritty? What? It has nothing to do with me. So, yeah, they put a lot of pressure on you.
Did you do it?
I did it. I don't know how well. I had a lot of oohs and ahs, so I'll take it. But I don't know how well.
There has to be video evidence of this. I have to see Parker doing the gritty.
No,
Did you do the eyes? Did you do the whole thing?
Yeah, I did a little bow in the back.
Nice.
Gosh.
Right there on the middle of the mat. But all right, anyways. Yeah, Vikings, hopefully Kirk and trust. That's what we're doing. But you got our boy Thomas Hennigan. We all went to App State, graduated from App State, and he's an App State wide receiver. I really like him. He's a freak athlete, and I think Thomas Hennigan can break his way into the 52-man roster. I think he's a pleasant surprise for Kirk Cousins on offense.
They got T. Henny?
Yeah.
They got T. Henny, yep.
Friend of the show.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
right.
Breaks my heart. Gosh. I hope he makes the team, though.
Yeah, I got a good feeling. I don't know. I got a good feeling.
Well, he's better than who is that guy? Laquan Treadwell. He like couldn't catch anything.
Yeah,
he's better than that guy.
Well, let's talk about a little playoffs here. Let's talk about some NHL. NHL has been hot. This round has been amazing. Minus if you're a Nashville Predators fan, they got swept last night by the Avalanche. But it seems like every other series is pretty close. I'm rocking the Canes jersey. They're playing tonight 2-2 with the Bruins. Florida Panthers, Caps, they're 2-2. I thought Panthers were going to steamroll the Capitals. I'm a little shaking in my boots now because I picked the Panthers. Toronto, Tampa, we knew that was going to be a good series. It's tied 2-2. Pittsburgh have a little upset against the number 2 seed Rangers. Rangers down 2 games, 1-3. Western side, Blues, Wild 2-2. Stars, Calgary 2-2. Calgary is supposed to be a powerhouse on defense. They're letting a lot of goals slide. And then Kings, who's had to play a playing game to get in, going toe-to-toe with the 2 seed, the Oilers. So playoff series really starting to heat up for us. Any thoughts so far? We second guessing our picks here. Brooks, I don't know how much hockey you played. Being up in Pennsylvania, I'm sure you're around it a lot.
Yeah, 0, man.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I was ready for some Penguins take there.
Yeah,
one.
I was
But,
too. What we just did was so my nephew plays hockey now, so we went and saw him, and we had a surprise birthday for my brother, for Dane, at the Reading Royals. So like minor league hockey, and all of the like luxury boxes were taken, so we just got enough people that we could like rent the spot like down on the ice, like right next to the food catered, all that good stuff. Yeah. And that was like the smartest place to have a birthday party ever. It was watching those dudes like that close, where you're this like right on the glass at their level, and they're flying at you, or the puck's flying at you. I was just like, dude, never would I want to be in there. What a
dude, no.
Dealing with those guys. But
Not
they're
at all.
huge. These are not little
Yeah.
dudes. They're big dudes,
It's like 6'5", 6'6" guys roll around as fast as they can on blades. Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm getting the hell out of there.
No, it was scary, but I know nothing about it. So you guys go do it. Tell me who's good.
Well, Canes.
When you guys were there, did you guys bang on the board?
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
no, we were getting
There you
nuts.
go.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I don't know anything about it, but I can tell when things are going good and things are going bad,
Absolutely, yeah.
Great
Me and Tim went to the
spectator.
Canes game. We got a little saucy, and we started banging on the boards. We got told real quick, you gotta stop that shit. So
Yeah, we got hawk-eyed pretty quick. The guy was just staring at us like, nope, don't do it.
Fitz, what were you gonna say?
Oh, hockey's great. It's a great spectator sport, first of all.
Yeah,
but no, Canes and Lightning are both up 2-0 tonight. So
Let's go, baby.
So hopefully those two teams can lock in Game 5. That'd be big.
That'd be
But
huge.
yeah, it's just going to be a big weekend. I know we're going to jump to NBA, but for hockey and basketball, there's going to be a handful of Game 7s. Like I think we could see like 6 or 8 Game 7s in one weekend, which is pretty wild. It should be exciting.
I think so too. This is ever since COVID, and maybe just because I'm like, shit, sports got taken away from us, and now I have to enjoy every second of it. But ever since COVID, I feel like playoffs have just been money for us. Like NFL, NBA, NHL for the past 2 seasons, it's been like, I need more of this. This is Game 7s. We're going to the brink of it. And I just feel like every playoff series has been closer than any time before.
Yeah, and NHL's weird because I feel like last year, maybe the year before, like the 1 seeds kind of didn't show up in the playoffs. Like it was almost like seeds are thrown out the door with hockey in a sense. I feel less with that with NBA, but I feel like hockey, it's like I feel like a wild card can make a run. Like, I mean, it's the fact that the Colorado Avalanche swept, it's like, okay, they took care of business. But other than that, everything else is out the door, and it's just kind of like who's going to show up tonight.
Yeah, Tim, any thoughts?
I got a comment for you here, Brooks. I'm going through all the EFM athletes, and I don't see a single hockey player. You have everyone. You have Olympic. You even have a physician assistant. You have a fencer.
And we got a fencer. She's a badass. She's an Olympian,
no
2-time Olympian. That woman has. So you hold the epee, the sword. You hold the sword in one hand. Her forearm on this side is like as big as my bicep, and the other side is like a normal woman's arm. It's crazy. Like
Dang.
She shakes your hand, she's like, bam, like slam. Yeah, man, we get a lot of like weird sports. So like wrestling, throwing, like shot put, discus, and a lot of Olympic lifters. But now, man, we don't have a lot of hockey players reach out to us. You gotta send somebody our way. Like pick somebody, hook us up with a hockey player, and we'll we'll talk.
All right. What about a physical therapist? I don't see a PT on there anywhere. So
Tim, let's not be so. What about a podcast here? All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about us. We're all athletic here. No, I'm just kidding. No, but going through your list, I mean, you got NFL stars, you got Olympic stars. Gotta get an NHL. We gotta get in there. We're gonna hook you up. We're gonna find somebody.
Yeah, Chano's got a Super Bowl ring. He won with Kansas City 2 years ago.
Dang.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that was my son's like his first year actually playing football was the year of COVID, and luckily his team had an actual season, but they just did like intra-squad games, and he was just like, we sponsored Tano, and he was like, I'm playing defensive end. I just want to play defensive end. I was like, dude, good choice, good position.
Hell yeah, it is. I'm right there with him. Yeah.
I
love it. Well, let's move into a little NBA here. NBA playoffs. Once again, it's close. Western, we got the Suns, Mavs tied 2-2. That game's going tooth and nail. Some moms and wives are being called out. If you're Chris Paul, some 17-year-olds jawing at your wife and girlfriend there, or mom, if I can talk. Grizzlies, Warriors. Grizzlies took a huge blow. Ja Morant is out for the remainder of the playoffs. It seems like with a knee bruise. He was kind of grabbed on the knee there. Maybe intentional, maybe not.
Controversial.
Yeah, controversial, but they're down 2 games, 1-3. In the East, it's all tied up. Heat, Sixers, 2-2. Bucks and Celtics 2-2, and the Bucks Celtics game, I'm gonna circle that one. That's a lot of officiating. It's just bad on both sides, just bad officiating. But at least it's going both ways. Thoughts on the NBA playoffs?
Heat are up 54-36 right now.
Hey, and shout out to the Sixers. When we had Jeff on last week, we said, Sixers, they're done. Joel Embiid, if he's not playing, they're done. They're rising to the occasion though. They're trying. They're testing the heat.
You know, I've heard some people, you know, a bone bruise. When you hear a bone bruise, you don't think of it as being significant because you have bruise in there. But like, it's a serious thing where, you know, it's going to take a long time for that to heal. So people, you know, I've seen very minimal posts, but people are, you know, up in arms that he is already ruled out for the rest of the postseason. And it's like, if you just do even a little research on the physiology of a bone bruise and the pathology of it, like you'll know it's an injury. It's not just like a sprain or something that you could work through. Like it's, especially at the knee. I mean, the high impact sport of NBA. I don't know. I just had to get that out there. It's like,
Is that it?
come on,
Is that
people.
Embiid or Morant?
I think it's Morant. Yeah.
Morant. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I feel like the same people saying that a bone bruise isn't a big deal have carpal tunnel and wear like a wrist sleeve at work on a computer, right?
Sorry, I gotta take an hour break here. I just can't type anymore. Sub, I need a sub. Hold on.
Yeah. Like you're going out on a hardwood court against dudes who are 6'8", you know, or taller and stronger than anybody at the most elite level on the planet of a sport that requires the most coordination, and you don't have a good knee. Like, what are you going to do? That's terrible. That's a nightmare, you know? I would not.
It's not like regular NBA season. This is playoffs. We're like, hey, I'm actually going to lock you down on defense if I can. I'm being physical as hell with you. Yeah. And so if you don't have that need to move like you used to, it's no point being out there.
Do you guys think?
Yeah, I think.
You guys think if you had to, like, if you could only watch one game, or if you could only watch one playoffs, would you go NBA or NHL?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going NHL. I grew up on hockey. I know I got the Rodman jersey behind me. I love old school basketball, but hockey has really not changed. It's still physical. It's still getting after it. Playoff hockey is no different. Get the beards going. I'm going NHL playoffs.
I take NBA.
Yeah,
I take NBA this year. I just looking at even the teams that are there. I mean, you know, I think if I'm trying to like not make predictions here, but like if you look at like the Heat Bucks, it's like the Heat were in the finals 2 years earlier. The Bucks are the reigning champs. That would be a great conference finals. Suns, again, they were in the finals, lost last year. If they play Golden State, Golden State was the dynasty, you know. So it's almost like the Suns. Is this really a chance for them to get back, or is it the Warriors kind of taking it? Steph kind of saying, "No, you guys forgot about me when Durant came." I just think there's a lot of good stories going on, and then not to mention, like, I mean, it sucks Ja Morant got hurt, but like, you know, Luka Doncic, you know, he's got a chance to make a name for himself, or Embiid with the Sixers, or even Tatum with the Celtics. It's almost like either someone's going to make a name for themselves, or it's going to be like these storybook, you know, endings for some of these teams. So I'm excited. I'm all in on NBA, especially this season.
Sorry, Fitz. I got to go NHL, man.
Let's go.
Y'all sleeping?
Now, I don't know. I've always been enamored with like how undervalued and underappreciated an NHL athlete is, and what their body goes through, and what they demand just on like an average game. And then you added like playoff hockey. I mean, gosh, so much respect to NHL players. They freak athletes, completely underrated. Nothing like NHL playoffs.
What if you had to get the Rudy call up and you had to play two minutes in one playoff sport.
Oh God.
Which one would you take so that you would survive?
That's got to be NBA, right?
Yeah.
I'm not surviving on the ice.
Yeah.
I'd go NBA, and then I would immediately try to get a flagrant 2 so they would beat me, and that'd be it.
I'm just bear hugging somebody. I'm just coming in, maybe a little lat drop, and I'm getting the hell out of the arena.
I'll do NBA. Put me on the Mavs. I'll look like old JJ Barea. I'll just pull up from like some crazy range, and Cuban's gonna be like, "Did we sign that guy? Do we have that guy?" Well,
That's a 5'10" white kid. Hold on.
I love it.
That ain't Jokic. Hey, shout out Jokic, 2-time MVP, just announced. So
Wow.
Wait, what?
Dang.
a little controversial. Some people are like, he didn't deserve it, but some, different camps. We'll say that for another episode. Well, Brooks, we do this thing called the pub parlay. I don't know if you like betting on sports. I don't know if you want to do that. If you want to partake with us, you give us a bet and we'll lock it in for the parlay this weekend.
On one of these playoff games? Oh my God, I'm gonna be terrible at this.
Any of the playoffs, any game this weekend. So if you like a little baseball, you can throw a little baseball in there. Cross whatever sport, a little footy, a little soccer action. We usually got a guy from Britain on with us, but he's a little bit under the weather this week. But any sport.
How about college baseball? How about college baseball? I'm gonna say who's University of Tennessee playing? My homie is like, he's way into. Did you see this kid just threw the fastest fastball ever in college history, 105 miles per hour?
Whoa.
I forget what his name is. We got to look him up. I got distracted because the batter that he was thrown against was named like Daryl Rambush. And I was like, that's not a real name. I was like, that's some dude's porn name. But this kid was throwing 105 miles per hour, and my buddy's like super into UT baseball. So I'm going to say, I would put whatever money on whoever UT's playing.
They're playing Georgia.
They're winning
Georgia Friday or Saturday.
They're winning the series.
I love it.
Nice.
Hey, Tim, you might like Tennessee baseball. They're kind of the bad boys of college baseball.
All right. I can
They're
get behind
celebrating.
that.
They're in people's face. They're breaking the trend of an old school baseball. So
you
I'm a big
gotta
balls
give that
baseball
kid a
fan.
shout out, man. Who's the kid who threw this fastball? Because I don't know.
I'm looking it up right now. I got distracted and then
he sent me a video of it, and it was like, it's just I was just thinking, like, going back to what we were saying about hockey, or basketball, just going out there with guys like that. You're standing there, you're used to 92 miles per hour is a fastball, which is already hard. And then you add 13 miles per hour. So like another literally like 15% harder. and it's just like,
jeez,
dude, how ridiculous would that be to be sitting in there at night?
Gosh.
Shout out to the boy Ben Joyce, nicknamed Volunteer Fireman. With an arm like 105.5, you're throwing fire, baby. I'm here with that name.
Ben Joyce?
Ben Joyce.
Oh, nice. That's why he likes him. He's got the same initials. His name's Ben Jones.
There you go.
That's why he likes it. That's great.
I love it.
Yeah, no, I'll take UT. He's big on Tennessee baseball right now, and I'll say outside of wrestling and MMA, that's who I'm taking.
I love it. I'm here for it. Fitz, Tim.
I guess it depends on the day you guys want.
Hey, I don't have a dog in the fight.
Fitz, I'll leave it up to you. You might have if they win, then this.
No, I've got a set pick this week, but let me make sure it's baseball.
Oh, I got a
So
baseball
let's
too.
see. Well, don't steal my pick now.
Oh, I'm picking my team.
Just kidding. I know who you're gonna take. You can pick either day, Tim. It can either be Friday the 13th or Saturday. So it's gonna be Lucky Friday the 13th or.
Ooh, yeah, we're going Friday the 13th.
Oh gosh.
Give me Houston over Washington Friday night.
Houston over Washington Friday night. I like it.
Friday the 13th. Dang. All right.
I feel like this is where we just do the opposite parlay. I'm gonna take upset. I'm gonna take the White Sox over the Yankees on Friday.
Oh, that's a huge upset.
I don't think it's a huge. They just played, and every game was like within a run. I just think the Yankees are gonna be heavily favored. Yeah, I just like it.
Okay.
It Sox at home too.
We're just going to have an all baseball parlay. Brooks, I'm loving the energy we're bringing here.
That's great. That's great.
Give me the Angels on the road against the Athletics. I think, yeah. This, I say this every week. I feel good about this parlay. We haven't hit it in a couple months here, but we're going to hit this month. I feel good this week. We're hitting out the park.
Hey, I got another question for you guys. So, my son is 14. He's really into sports. We've been starting to do like sports movies and stuff. We've probably done like Rudy. We've done like the Bad News Bears and stuff like that. The Mighty Ducks when he was younger. But like, give me like top 3 sports movies for you guys, like teenage sports movies that you would.
This is perfect, Brooks, because we usually end on a random question. This is the random question.
Perfect.
Sweet.
This is right up our alley.
Should we all do them? Should we all do our top 3 sports movies?
Yeah, top 3 sports movies. I'm here for it.
Sweet.
Oh man.
Teenager.
Hey, let's do tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So 1 being the best, 2 your second rank, third rank, and we'll all do our 1s, 2s, and 3s. Teenager. This is a little tough.
The first one that came to mind was not a good one for a teenager.
Well, okay, so let's take the teenager caveat out. If we're gonna get all somewhere between 9 and 12 movies here, there's got to be good ones that we can do, teenager or not. So just say best sports movie all time.
I was just thinking Bull Durham.
Yeah,
is one of my all time. Just the screenplay is phenomenal. Costner is just dialed up. Tim Robbins, Susan Sarandon. Love that movie. There's a little too much sex in it for a teenager.
Yeah.
There's a good cocksucker line. He calls the ump. You want me to call you a cocksucker? That whole exchange. But that's just like, for me, that's just like the most baseball movie ever. I just love it. There's just a lot of good lines that, like, I feel like they don't like hold your hand. Like they make a lot of references, like, a ground ball with eyes, or a dying quail, like these this baseball lingo that you're like, wait, what's a dying quail? Oh, that's like a little a blooper hit, like a little, it's like things like that. I really enjoy.
That's true. Is that your number 1?
That'd be my number 1, but it's not my recommend. That's an honorable mention. That's for your son in like 5 years.
All right. But yeah.
I'll just
go ahead, Tim.
go ahead, Parker.
Yeah, this guy. I want to say Friday Night Lights. Good football movie. That's not my number 1. Me and Tim used to quote this all the time in college. We were college roommates, and we just throw out random quotes throughout the day at each other. I don't know. It's one of those that sticks out to you, especially playing high school football. And once it ends, it ends. And it does a good job of kind of showing that. So I'd say Friday Night Lights is tier 1 for me.
Nice. I don't think I've actually ever seen that. I feel like I should just watch it with him, because I've never actually. Is it like teenager friendly?
Yeah, for the most part. I think there's a little bit of a party scene early on, but it's not terrible.
Yeah.
Little language, but it's not. I mean, they're not dropping FU everywhere. It's just a little shit, Bobby. What was that? And that's about it. Nothing worse than Varsity Blues.
Yeah, right.
I'll just go ahead and say it. We're all thinking it. Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, we did that one already. That was good. That was very good. I would say even like 11-year-old. I mean, because you also get the time, right? And
exactly.
And the civil.
It's not always about the sport. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
That's number 1.
Parker stole my number 1, so I guess that's my addendum for number one?
I mean, if man, I feel like I have a good football movie, but I also have a good dirty baseball movie. And I'll say probably the movie that I watched the most was Major League. Definitely not gonna watch that with them
Yeah.
yet. That was one of those ones, like, when your parents got like free HBO for a weekend and they taped like 50 movies and you had all those VHSs with like the Sharpie written on. That was one of those. Yeah. No, I'll say actually number one, if I can count this as a sports movie, I'm gonna say Teen Wolf. I love Teen Wolf.
All right.
It's a sports
Yeah.
movie. Oh, man, it's funny.
The basketball game, right? He's got
Yeah. I guess that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All right. Our number 2 is on our list here.
All right, this is actually I feel like you've seen this though. You've probably seen Sandlot.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that deserves a spot on the list though, for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely on the list. Yeah, I had to burn one there. I'm really trying to think of a recommendation now.
I appreciate that. No, that's freaking great though. Sandlot's like one of those ones you can watch with literally anybody anytime, right? Like it's good. It's a good movie to like drink a couple beers to. It's a good movie to sit down and watch with like a 5-year-old. It's freaking wholesome baseball, man. Perfect. Not Major League.
Yeah.
I got a legit recommendation for you. Dodgeball.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, that's a good middle school too.
I like that.
Yeah. The humor's
Bold
there.
strategy, Cotton.
Yeah.
I feel like that was
Have you
right at
seen
the
it,
age.
Brooks?
That was like right at
yeah.
the age when I could watch it. Yeah.
No, that's
middle school is right there.
The football one I was thinking of was Necessary Roughness.
Oh,
What
that's
is
a good
that?
one.
I don't know that one.
Sinbad.
That's a good one.
Sinbad and what's his name? Oh, and freaking Kathy Ireland is the kicker, the place kicker.
Yeah.
All right, I'm adding that to my list. That's
Welcome.
hilarious.
Welcome to Footballs.
1991.
It's definitely worth a watch.
Jason Bateman's in it. That's wild.
Well, that's right. He's like the preppy kid. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I'm gonna say the Mighty Ducks trilogy.
Okay.
Too.
I like
1,
that.
2, and 3.
Which one's the best? I mean, I don't remember watching any more than the first one. And I think he watched the first one. Are 2 and 3 like quality?
I think 2 and 3 are better than 1.
Really?
But you have to have 1 for the backstory of it to make sense.
Yeah. Right.
All right, my last pick. Here's my recommendation. Your kid's gonna hate this movie, but every kid needs to watch it. Hoosiers.
Oh yeah.
Hackman, Dennis Hopper.
I like it.
Just a great movie. My favorite scene. I always, if it's on TV, I gotta catch it when it's Dennis Hopper taking over. He goes, "We're gonna run the picket fence," and like, "You're the swing man," and he draws the play up. Oh, it gets me goosebumps every time.
I feel like I probably haven't watched that since high school, I'm guessing. Yeah.
Just timeless film. It will live on forever.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Here's one. Well, it could be 2. Longest Yard.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah.
Pick your poison. I think that age, maybe more Adam Sandler would be more appropriate, but either works.
It's a good pick.
Well, yeah, and then now you're going down the road of Waterboy, Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore, yeah.
Any Adam Sandler sports movie. Dude, I'm gonna steal it before the other wrestling coach in the room takes it. Vision Quest.
Yeah. Gotta show Vision Quest. I think he's right at the age where you probably get away with most of those scenes now. Yeah. Vision Quest, great movie. Really slept on. Oh man, this is tough. I want to say The Program, but I think it's just slept on. I'm not ready to rank it 3 yet. I'm gonna go Warrior at 3 though.
Ooh, yeah.
Or a good little MMA movie there.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. He's into MMA right now too, so that's great.
Good. Hey, Brooks, man, we can't thank you enough for hopping on, dude. We had one hell of a conversation. One of our longest episodes we ever done, and honestly, I feel like we just got started. It went by so quick, and you had some amazing stories for us. So, dude, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot, guys. That was fun. Yeah, it went real quick. Appreciate it.
Hey, of course, man. If there's anything you want to plug, I put up EarthFed's Instagram up there on the screen there. But if there's anything else you want to throw out, plug to the audience, feel free to do it. So,
yeah, EarthFed Muscle. That's us. That's our stuff. My brother's gym and his training is fun too. Garage Strength, his YouTube channel. He's got like almost 300,000 subscribers now on YouTube. He's going crazy on there. But yeah, check us out, earthfedmuscle.com. All good stuff. If you send a message, I will literally reply to you. support@earthfedmuscle.com. I will reply to you. So yeah.
Hey, absolutely. Good dude. Amazing company. We can't wait to see how this next year shapes out for you guys. And
GNC, baby.
That's right. We're going. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we'll catch you guys next Tuesday. Have a beautiful week.
Bye.
Have a wonderful time. See ya in a bit. Go well.
Big into accents.
I hate doing all this.
Pop it, Fitz.
Twisty.
Golly.
I'm just going to go out and say it. Joey Chestnut has to be on the pub.
Has to be.
More. I mean,
has to be.
Dramatic, man. That was a journey.
Fitzmagic in September is like one of the hottest athletes in the world.
Man, I'm gonna get real theological on y'all. I think we're all a little soft and misunderstood. I'll just be real honest.
Game of baseball, but it has different rules that go along with it that kind of go behind our underlying theme of getting fans involved, keeping fans.
If I catch it in my beer, does that still count?
10 seconds.
Tim, when you were talking over the outro the other week, I was dying.